My name is Kelsey Forbes, and this presentation is for Module 4, Leadership and Teams course. I have been tasked with creating a 6-person team to recommend a new performance evaluation since the model currently in use is outdated and greatly reduces employee morale each year. This presentation will explain my recommendation of building this team and will discuss the following areas: the importance of team building methods, an explanation of internal and external dynamics that affect teams, along with strategies to handle those dynamics and build an effective team, the selection process for members of this team, the role of team diversity and the positive effects that it has on teams, as well as a coaching strategy to be implemented for team effectiveness. First, we will look at team building methods. What is team building? Team building is when the work team reviews and evaluates its own functioning and develops improved work and relational patterns. Team building is important because it encourages cohesion, promotes team effectiveness, and the effectiveness of teams directly impacts the organization. When looking at team building methods, according to Donna Kerrigan's live lecture, there are 5 stages. These stages are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Forming. This is the introductory period. Team building exercises are useful during this stage since they can loosen up members and break down barriers. For example, including a personality quiz as an activity during this stage will help members be aware of each other's strengths. The reason this is beneficial is because it allows teammates to understand the personality traits and therefore hopefully prevent future conflict. The second stage is storming. This stage is where members begin to share ideas and suggestions on how to carry out the assigned project. For example, teammates might discuss which members work on certain tasks. The reason this is critical is the team members are empowered to discuss their own possible action plans with input from each member. The third step is norming. This is the stage where the team members begin to establish a rhythm and choose the plan of action that best suits them. For example, the team might choose to meet weekly or create a shared spreadsheet to keep track of each member's progress. This stage is important because it is when the members decide on how they will move forward with the action plan and how they will work together. Next, we have performing. This is when the team implements the chosen action plan to carry out the assignment. Following our previous example, the weekly meeting will take place and the spreadsheet will be utilized and shared among team members as progress is made. Also, each team member will be functioning within their established role. This is important because this is when the team is performing the work that is needed to achieve the task. And last, we have adjourning. This is the reflection stage after the completion of the project. Team members are able to evaluate their own performance as well as the performance of teammates and the team as a whole. For example, if internal conflict could have been handled in a better way, it would be at this stage where that can be addressed. This is important since processes and interactions can be evaluated with the goal of improving future performance individually and as a group. Next, we will discuss the internal and external dynamics that affect teams, and then we'll identify strategies that may be implemented to handle those dynamics in order to build an effective team. First, we will look at internal dynamics. These refer to internal interactions that are happening within a team. Examples of positive internal dynamics include trust, collaborative decision-making, holding each other accountable, and empowering members to take on social roles. Challenges and negative examples of internal dynamics include lack of trust, poor decision-making, no accountability, and lack of leadership. External dynamics refer to interactions happening between members of the group and external factors. Examples of these are understood when describing how those members in the team are interacting with those outside of the team. For example, client relationship builder. This is the team member that builds positive interactions and relationships with the clients. Next is the disseminator. This person extends information to other teams or departments. We also have the buffer. This person protects the team from bad news filtering in. Next, we have the advisor. This member advises the team on potential decisions and how outside factors might impact those decisions. We also have the gatekeeper. This team member controls the info that is flowing in and out of the team. We also have the coordinator. This person networks with others outside of the team and they establish resources. And then finally, the strategist. This person plans on how to approach management for resources. Examples of challenges of external dynamics include work overload from other work duties and other roles outside of the team. And there are several strategies that we can use. The first strategy here will be setting the stage early. This means setting expectations right away, such as team member conduct, discussing each role and the overall goal, such as one person creating the types of questions for their performance, but will submit them to another person to be correctly formatted. Excuse me. Then we have building trust. Establishing trust between members so that they may be able to count on each other and the other person to do their part in a timely manner. And also to establish trust that as their leader, you will be their advocate as well as guide them in the right direction. Next is to remove any distractions or obstacles as soon as possible. There might be external factors that affect team processes. For example, if the team is having difficulty with obtaining previous performance evaluations from a specific department, figure out why and how to obtain them so they can move forward. And next we have empowering the team while maintaining leadership. Instead of solving problems for the team, let them find their own solutions. At the same time, be able to delegate tasks while keeping efforts aligned. For example, assigning different tasks to each member that will combine smoothly enough to produce one performance evaluation at the end. Maybe one member will analyze past evaluations and pass on the aspects of those that were ineffective or really good, while another member creates new questions and another one decides how it will be answered, either on a rating scale or a written form. This slide will cover how the selection process might look when choosing members for the team. There are certain factors to consider when looking at selecting members to create a new performance evaluation that will improve employee morale. These factors include their roles within the company, interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills, and relevant skills. When looking at roles within the company, I would like to choose leaders who have a large access to employees. I would like to select members from the HR department, the training department, supervisors and management from different departments, as well as someone from IT and marketing. The IT employee could contribute on assisting the team with working efficiently with software and programs, while the marketing employee can create a format that is attractive as well as comprehensive. First, we'll look at the interpersonal skills. This is important because I want open communication with this team. I also need employees that have experience in speaking with other staff in an objective manner. All of the roles mentioned should include this aspect. Problem-solving skills are also crucial. The roles selected here also should have hands-on experience in this area. Management problem solve with their subordinates on a regular basis, while HR and training might problem solve across departments. The same could be said for IT, who has to work with different employees and create solutions or have many teaching moments. It is also important that the skills of each member are relevant to the task. Each of these roles have skills and exposure to the staff that are relevant in creating this new evaluation. If we were designing a new break room instead, then we would require a very different set of skills that would be relevant. Now let's look at the actual process for selection. First, we would break down the project task to identify the tasks that we would need to be completed and think of who might qualify for each. As I stated, I think having an employee from the marketing department would be beneficial since they know which wording and formatting would appeal most to the target audience. Next are to evaluate the requirements. We need members who can work with quick deadlines and process large amounts of information quickly. All of these roles should have experience with this. Then we have the human resources. It is always wise to check a list of potential roles needed for teams by HR because they might have insight on who is a good fit better than you do. Communication is another part of this process. It is imperative that members are able to communicate effectively and have the ability to collaborate with others. Next, we look at management skills. Team members need to be efficient in time management and also be able to prioritize tasks. and then we will create our list from here. We will form the list of potential employees by the criteria mentioned. Then we will select those that we think will best fit this team's needs. Interviewing those potential members to see if they are motivated to join the team would be next, and then last, evaluate. Make sure those members can work together as a team and evaluate the chemistry to make sure that it's good. Next, we will look at team diversity. Always strive to create a well-diversified team. Strategies to use when forming a team can include keeping diversity in mind when selecting team members. Be purposeful in seeking out those who have differences in one another. Comparing employee profiles is also helpful because then you can identify characteristics such as age, how many years with the company, race, gender, and education, just to name a few. For example, a Hispanic male from HR with 10 years of experience with the company will think very differently than an Iranian female who is a supervisor with a bachelor's degree and has only been with the company for 3 years. The reason that all of these different areas matter is because it is those characteristics and experiences that will create differences in the strengths and opinions that we want to see within the team. We need to see diversity as a variety of skill sets, experiences, and ideas, and this is what we want to have reflected in our work team. Collaborative teams that value differences and can harness that to create impact are of value. Diversity greatly impacts the team effectiveness, but how? Having a diverse team means that you have a variety of skill set and strengths to complete this project, such as departmental experience, computer skills, training employees, providing the past evaluations, and etc. This also means that by bringing together different people, the team is more likely to relate to different employees throughout the company. This is important because the overall goal is to create something that will improve morale, and of course, each employee is different. Also, diversity creates innovation. When several people are working together and critiquing the same project, it is helpful because those different perspectives can point out areas for opportunity that might have been missed than if it were just one person or people who all have the same role or think alike. And last, we have coaching. This is to aid members to make decisions that will help them accomplish the work. The 3 types of coaching are motivational, consultative, and educational. In the beginning, this is when we want to motivate our employees. We really want to energize them and create focus on the project. For example, explaining how this project will improve the corporate culture and also help enhance the morale of our fellow coworkers would be beneficial. And next we have the midpoint. This is when we do the consultative coaching. We should know when someone might be needing help. Maybe a member is struggling with creating something that can be used across all of the departments. We need to help this member discover solutions. So focus on the processes, not the people, and see how you can help. This will help keep your opinion objective and also help the teammate to look at things objectively too. Make sure to keep the setting in mind because maybe the team member is embarrassed that they need help and therefore a private conversation would be best. And then towards the end of the project, this is when we would use the educational coaching. This is the time to help teammates reflect on their work and how they did as a team as well as individuals. Once again, keeping in mind to focus on the performance and not personalities. Always try to phrase things in a positive tone. For example, instead of John and Susan failed to work as a team, we could instead say that we have room for improvement as a team in emotional intelligence, and that might be something we can work on. In conclusion, this presentation has covered the following: the importance of team building methods such as forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning, an explanation of internal and external dynamics and strategies to handle those, such as setting the stage early, building trust, removing obstacles, and empowering members while maintaining leadership. This presentation has also covered the selection process for choosing members of the team. These include the task breakdown, requirement evaluation, consulting the HR department, communication skills, management skills, listing the candidates, and then evaluating those candidates as a team. And then next we have the team diversity strategies, such as keeping diversity as a goal during the selection process and comparing employee profiles when evaluating those candidates. And last, we have the coaching strategy to be implemented for team effectiveness, such as motivational, consultative, and educational. Thank you. This concludes this presentation, and the references will follow on the next slide.